Hope, the secret ingredient to overcoming hardship, the motivation to keep pushing amidst challenges. Hello there. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. In today's program, we look at how one young man was able to move from being jobless to becoming gainfully employed through the Hope program. Also coming up, using agriculture to teach our youth money management skills. All that and more, so stay with us.
Behind every Jamaican medical cannabis product is a story. To create that perfect plant requires the care, patience and nurturing of that special farmer. When harvested, it is carefully transported to a processing facility where it is transformed into high-quality medical cannabis products for consumption by responsible consumers. All this and more is possible through the closed-loop system created by the Cannabis Licensing Authority to protect the integrity of Jamaica's medical cannabis industry. For more information, call the Cannabis Licensing Authority at 876-654-7582 or visit our website at cla.org.jm.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, September 28. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has signed agreements with 11 private entities to administer COVID-19 vaccines free of cost to the public. The signing took place on Monday and activates measures by the government to expand the number of vaccination sites, reduce overcrowding, and to facilitate a timely and efficient operation at locations. There are currently 55 fixed sites across the island to support the national vaccination program. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the move is also to vaccinate more than 65% of the population by March 2022 to achieve herd immunity against the disease.
Today we have probably 7 to 8% of our population fully vaccinated, another 17 or 18% with at least one dose, and over 700,000 jabs delivered in the arms of Jamaicans. And that represents progress, but clearly the ideal scenario would be to have achieved the 65% if we could.
Prior to Monday's signing, the government indicated its intention to collaborate with private health facilities such as private hospitals, health centers, doctors' offices and pharmacies, as well as with faith and community-based organizations to support the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccines.
All the things that we do at the national arena or the other locations, these entities will have to comply with it. So it's not a different system. It's the same system, same standard, but additional outlets. And these entities would have met those requirements.
The contracted entities will administer the vaccines provided by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. They are required, among other things, to process vaccination registration, maintain vaccine records and documentation, and provide fully vaccinated individuals with a completed and certified Ministry of Health and Wellness vaccination card. In other related news, government has begun work to establish a system of verifying the validity of vaccination status of Jamaicans. The move comes amidst reports that the vaccination status of inoculated Jamaicans traveling abroad is not recognized.
If you needed to travel and you went to you arrived into the foreign country and you presented your card, we will develop the appropriate system to ensure that there is the ability to validate that card. So your country, your destination of travel will be able to verify on the Jamaican database that your vaccination is accurate and appropriate and validated. So whilst there are concerns, I wish to reassure the country that the way in which Jamaica has gone about its vaccination program places us in good standing for this kind of validation to take place.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness was addressing journalists on a recent vaccination blitz in Trelawney. Mr. Holness also sought to reassure Jamaicans that the island's vaccination program meets the highest standards.
It is not the vaccine. What the countries that are starting to place these requirements are saying is that they want to be certain about our vaccination process. And they want to be sure that if someone turns up at their border to say, hey, here is my vaccination card, that this card is not a fake or a fraudulent card, that they are able to verify that you actually got vaccinated.
A contract valued at $141.5 million to construct a classroom block at the Black River High School in St. Elizabeth has been approved by Cabinet. Minister of Education Favour Williams says the new block represents Phase 2 of expansion works at the institution. According to Minister Williams, another contract in the amount of $107 million has been approved to supply and distribute grade 6 language arts and science workbooks to students under the primary textbook program for the 2021-2022 academic year. Cabinet also approved a similar contract to supply math books to primary school students.
Cabinet gave approval for the award of a contract for the supply and distribution of mathematics workbooks for grade 5 and 6 students at primary schools under the primary textbook program for the 2021-2022 academic year in the amount of $110,532,960, and this contract was awarded to Book Zone Limited.
Minister Williams was speaking at the recently held post-Cabinet digital media briefing. The disabilities regulations will be tabled in Parliament for consideration by members following Cabinet's approval. The regulations will bring into operation the Disabilities Act, which was enacted in 2014. It will also strengthen the capacity of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities to effectively perform its mandate in accordance with the Act.
Jamaica has always advocated for greater protection for persons with disabilities and was one of the first countries to ratify the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities in 2007. In accordance with the convention, Jamaica was required to ensure that the principles of the convention were implemented into domestic law, which was done through the enactment of the Disabilities Act of 2014.
The Act seeks to promote, protect, and ensure equal enjoyment by persons with disabilities. It also promotes equality of privileges, interests, benefits, and treatment. The Ministry of National Security is purchasing closed-circuit television CCTV cameras to enhance surveillance in correctional facilities. Minister without portfolio in the ministry, Senator Matthew Samuda, says government is building out an Information Communication Technology ICT plan for the Department of Correctional Services, the DCS. This plan will look at computer networking, communications, surveillance, and connectivity. Minister Samuda says the ICT outlay is valued at approximately 30 million Jamaican dollars per institution. It will include creating internal networks, a monitoring room at the Horizon Adult Remand Center, and a monitoring center at the DCS headquarters.
The first priority of the plan is to push forward the rollout of the network infrastructure at all DCS facilities and offices. Currently, just about half these locations have adequate computer networks installed. As a result, vital information and data must still be recorded and stored in hard copy. The inefficiency in terms of physical space and time spent searching through files for information cannot be overemphasized. Thus, the focus placed by the government on adequately equipping DCS to record and access this information digitally.
Minister Samuda says the ministry's security strengthening project, funded through the Inter-American Development Bank IDB, is funding the procurement and installation of CCTV cameras. He was making his contribution to the State of the Nation debate on Friday. And finally, a new family and probate division of the Supreme Court has been established to hear matters related to divorce, division of property, child custody, and maintenance. The new division, which became operational this month, is designed to improve efficiency and case clearance rates for matters involving the family. 2 judges have also been assigned to the division. With some of these matters being heard in the High Court Division of the Supreme Court, Chief Justice Brian Sykes says the ministry is now aiming to have all related cases completed within the standard 24-month time frame. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
Taking justice to the people of Jamaica.
I am Delroy Chuck, Minister of Justice. The plea bargain legislation has been passed. Many persons charged with serious crimes are spending several years behind bars. It did not have to happen. Accept responsibility for your wrongdoing. Get a lighter sentence. Watch your children grow. Plea. Don't gamble with your future.
A message from the Ministry of Justice.
Here's an update on the most recent developments coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister continues vaccination tour in sections of Trelawney and St. Andrew, updates in-person limit for places of worship, and announces the appointment of the island's first female head of the Jamaica Defence Force. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan.
Consider that it protects you, it protects your community, and it allows you the freedom of travel.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness making a case for more persons to take up the available COVID-19 vaccines. He made the call as he toured vaccination sites in northwest St. Andrew on Friday. Mr. Holness reasoned that vaccination is a way out of the COVID-19 pandemic, as schools would reopen, businesses would resume normal operations, and curfews and no-movement days would be a thing of the past.
We stopped on several corners, and I met some persons who, some of them had genuine objections, and others were very eager to find out where to come and take the vaccine. I spent in one location close to 1 hour having a reasoning, and I believe it was a productive reasoning. And we went into great details about vaccination and the impact of the lockdown. And I believe that we have made an impact, and I'm hopeful that we will see some movements in that area towards vaccination.
The Prime Minister took the vaccination mobilization tour to Trelawney on Thursday. He told persons that government was working on a system of verifying the validity of the vaccination status of Jamaicans. The move comes amidst reports that the vaccination status of inoculated Jamaicans traveling abroad is not recognized.
You went to you arrived into the foreign country and you presented your card. We will develop the appropriate system to ensure that there is the ability to validate that card. So your country, your destination of travel, will be able to verify on the Jamaican database that your vaccination is accurate, appropriate, and validated. So whilst there are concerns, I wish to reassure the country that the way in which Jamaica has gone about its vaccination program places us in good standing for this kind of validation to take place.
Commodore Antoinette Weems Gorman has been selected to serve as the island's first female Chief of Defence Staff. The appointment takes effect in January 2022, at which time she will be promoted to the rank of Rear Admiral at the Jamaica Defence Force, JDF. Commodore Weems Gorman's historic promotion and appointment follows the approval of retirement for Lieutenant General Rocky Meade. General Meade served the Jamaica Defence Force for 38 years, occupying the highest office at the JDF since December 2016. Commodore Weems Gorman is a career officer, having served 29 years at varying levels, including Force Executive Officer. She holds a master's degree with distinction in National Security and Strategic Studies from the University of the West Indies Mona campus. The 48-year-old is married and has a 15-year-old son. Before that, the Prime Minister announced an increase in the in-person limit for worship services. The amendment to the Disaster Risk Management Act will see no more than 50 persons being physically present during Saturday and Sunday worship, but only where the building can accommodate the amount at a minimum of 6 feet apart. Persons worshipping on Sundays, which is a no-movement day, will be allowed to attend church between the hours of 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. Authorized persons must have the form available for inspection by the security forces while traveling on Sundays. The in-person limit of 50 also applies to marriage ceremonies. However, the 20-person limit at funerals is still in effect. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Motorists, when driving on the road, here are some simple reminders. Look out for and extend courtesy to all road users. Give plenty of room to pedestrians, especially in wet weather. Drive slowly. No bother wet them up. Slow down when approaching a pedestrian crossing or school, and always be prepared to stop. Remember, a school zone is a 30-kilometer zone. Cut your speed. Drivers of large and slow-moving vehicles should always keep in the far left hand of a dual carriageway. Keep it simple. Drive left and pass right. These are just simple reminders of your road duties. Drive safely.
It's said that tough times don't last. Tough people do. The story of this young man who never gave up on himself, even while living on the streets, confirms this notion and gives hope to those still struggling.
Growing up, I didn't have no parent, nowhere to go. I was just stranded. I started to live in Crossroads because I didn't have nowhere else to go. So what I would do when I'm at Crossroads, I would stay in Mothers by day, and by night I would get a piece of cardboard and sleep at the bus stop beside of Mothers in Crossroads. I will walk and beg, or I will stay in Mothers for the whole day, begging passbys or so forth, till I find myself again money now. So I'd always have a phone, so I use that money that I get, buy credit, put on the phone and put on service, data, and find out about all of the ministries and so forth. And I will sit there and call the different ministries, from the Chief of Defense Staff Office to the Minister of Education, the Prime Minister's Office, all of those. So I keep on calling and keep on calling till I call the Prime Minister's Office again, and a secretary, I talk to her till I tell myself, say, I can't take it no more. I start crying, I tell the lady, say, Miss, please just help me. Please, I beg you, help me. And the lady say, young man, I will guarantee you that I will help you. So don't worry yourself. She called me back like an hour after or so forth, and she said to me that I got to a person that I think will most likely help you in your situation, which his name is Mr. Martin Rittman. He is the head coordinator of the HOPE program. An hour after, Mr. Rittman called me, and he introduced himself, and I introduced myself, and I tell him my story all over again. He told me that he can help me out with something to do, a skill and a job or so I can gain some form of income, so I could buy hygiene products and clothes and so forth. So he directed me to the Art and Ripon Road, where he told me to bring all relevant documents like ID, TRN and so forth to that place on Ripon Road, and speak to the secretary and tell her that Martin Rittman, the head coordinator of the HOPE program, sent me here. He told me that I should go to a school that's on South Camp, UWI Open campus. I went for 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks I spent at UWI Open campus at South Camp Road, I then moved on to a government agency for work. I started off processing in the computer all documents that come in. I will be the one who to lodge it in the computer and send it off to the different departments. But now I'm a customer service rep at the moment. because my supervisor told me that my talent is wasted where I'm at right now. I don't do much more than lodge the documents in the system and so forth. So she gave me more hands-on training that would more fit my criteria.
I think it is a good motivator in the sense that, it gives them some purpose of living, coming, doing something, knowing that he's responsible for something that is such a vital aspect of our daily activities. He dresses well, always on time, and he takes pride in whatever, what is assigned to him, meaning he works really hard, and whenever he's not here, they miss him.
This particular day now, I think it's the following week after Martin Rickman helped me out with the whole program and so forth. I saw a lady, just a random lady, I was begging and so forth. And the lady see me and she started to talk to me and ask me, why am I here and so forth. So I told her and I spoke with her, and she take me into Mother's, she buy me a patty and a juice. And we were talking, just talking and talking, and then she asked me, do I want to come to stay with her? With a glad face, I accepted and said, yes, I would love to come home with you. When she took me in, it's like, I was very welcome, because just looking, I had a bed to sleep in that used to be a cardboard. I had food to eat that used to be me begging on the street just to make ends meet, just to eat a little patty or something. A dumpling, she gave me all type of food that I longed to eat from a longer while.
You know the reason why I do it? God himself provide for me. That's me can feed myself, feed him, feed my 2 grandchildren then. Helping him is not a problem. Helping somebody when they are in need is the greatest thing for me.
I can put my life like the Titanic, if you ever seen that movie. It's like, when the ship was sinking, there's a lot of persons like, them don't know what to do. Some people just jump off in the water because them can't. But I was there and like, the ship has sink, and it's like I tell myself, say, you know what, I'm not going to make this ship sink with me now. So I decided to just jump off. So when you jump off now, I decide to say, you know what, I nah give up, I nah just drown so, I nah just go down so. So I tell myself, say, you know what, I go swim. Till I see a light, and that light was Martin Rickman, who shine a lot of other lights for me to a lot of different islands, a lot of different places.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Our hope for a better tomorrow starts with how well we educate our children. This next feature highlights how parents can use agriculture to teach children money management skills. After all, the children are the future, but the future starts today.
Due to the pandemic, children are more engaged in online schooling at home, and you are probably wondering what else you can do to keep them engaged. Have you considered agriculture? It is a good way to get them outside and active, teaching them responsibility, the value of hard work, making money, and even entrepreneurship. Nicoy Kernaldi is proof that the strategy actually does work. He took his lessons and became not only a successful farmer, but an agricultural educator.
I have been involved in agriculture for many years now, as far as I can remember, because my parents are both farmers, and growing up in a farmer's household, it was automatic that I developed the skill and also the interest. The strategy that my parents would employ is that though their farm is the main farm, but what they would do, they would give you, let's say, 24 tomato seedlings, and you'll plant those for yourself. So you'll start practicing how to care them, and then you'll harvest them, and then you'll get all of that money. So I started to see the benefit from very early. What my parents did again, they gave each of us a female goat. So we would start the reproduction from early, and that money would go towards our savings.
Imagine what life would be like for your children, rearing their own animals, growing their own produce, making their own money. Just think about it. If you're still not convinced, meet our 5-year-old friend O'Neill Grant, affectionately called Chris from St. Elizabeth.
Me go take the goat, me feed the fowl, me feed the rabbit. Look at mommy, mama. Come mama.
Yes, you have rabbit and you feed them on time. Like sometimes when you go in there, you clean out the coop and you catch water and you give rabbit. Otherwise, you feed them for them. See, you have chicken neck up, you feed them same way. Before Chris 3-year-old, Chris always go and come. Go and come. So after that, follow me go bush on time, watch how me tie goat them. Sometimes he say, Mama, I want the rope to tie. So sometimes he give me rope to tie, he go and get way. Sometimes I go down there and get way. So I say, all right, Chris, come show you if you tie goat. And he say, all right, Mama. So when Chris start tie goat them, then don't get way again. So it get used to now, till he never remember say, if you go for your mother, I just me want to steer it. If me a plan go and help me, anything me I do, he help me. Till after that now, me thought me a raise for chicken them same way. He get up on my time, let me open the coop, he help me feed them. He start give them wash out the pan, give them water same way. When if he pluck, he catch them and give me them, we kill them. So everything me I do, Chris give helping on the night same way.
And Chris manages to do all this while still making time for his online classes.
When we give Chris a goat, Chris say, Mama, you send the goat on big, I want to sell him and buy a cow calf.
My goatee, my goatee.
If you ever right enough, so sometimes like you go to get in trouble now, you dry him and hug him up and put in your head and I work like I do so I rub him down so I keep myself calm. Like when the sun hot at the time now, he say, Mama, give me one pan. And Chris take a pan, catch water pipe and go give every one of them water. And come back. And I even know when we reach I'll say 3-4 o'clock, Chris say, Mama, come ready, we are going to feed what them get them in. Yes, he get used to it, So sometimes when we up here, in the bush long time, go give them water. And sometimes when we look out at what, he get them in already long time.
So you say Chris going to be a farmer?
Yes, he want to be a farmer.
I want to be a farmer, yes.
So if you don't have a farm or yard like Chris to rear animals or to do farming on a large scale, then utilize your backyard and your containers. Remember, reduce, reuse, and recycle. You can sow seedlings or plant a small vegetable garden and sell your excess to your neighbors. Here's a secret. If you plant okra, once those okra trees start bearing, you can reap every 3 days. So imagine selling at least 5 bags of okra at $100 per bag every 3 days for, let's say, a month. Imagine all that money that you can make. Do the math.
We've come to the end of today's magazine. Thanks so much for your company. But remember to let your hopes, not your hurts, shape your future. Be sure to join us again tomorrow at the same time on this station. You can also enjoy our content on our website, jis.gov.jm, or our YouTube channel. While you're online, don't forget to send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm and via our social media pages. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.